can you talk a little bit about like you got married to Cass, which is a funny story, but I'll let somebody else tell that sometime.
Okay.
But because it's a great story. But so you get married to Cass. You guys are two. You're married, but of course you're still like two very independent people. You're doing your thing. She's still supporting your dream.
Yeah, right.
You have Kyler, still kind of supporting the dream, but now you have a kid,
Absolutely,
and that's
yeah,
really
yeah.
awesome. Where do you feel like it started to sink in? Like, wait a minute, like I need to change this up a little bit. It's wife and family
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff first. You talk a little bit about that?
yeah. So my when my first was born,
Yeah.
second's on the way
Yeah.
in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. It's
3 weeks?
awesome. It's
3
three,
weeks.
three.
Three,
Yeah,
three.
three. We're all excited.
Crazy.
So
Trying to
excited.
get all the kids done so I can.
I
she
can't
can
wait
have
for
time
him
off.
to be here. I'm speaking
I think so
positive
too.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to edit that out.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's gonna be edited out.
Okay, the family thing definitely started kicking in when I got back from when we had Kyler. So we had Kyler, and then it was like a week or two, and it might have not even been that. It might have been like a couple days after I went to live in.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Or I wasn't there, but I remember hearing the story. So you had Kyler, and then
Yeah.
you're like, "That's awesome! I'm off the train, right?"
Yeah, and yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? First of all, as soon as I married my wife, I flew to California the next day for 2 months and lived there. And this time it was Utah. So the only time I saw my daughter when she was first born. And first of all, everyone says that when you have a kid, like you're just instantly attached, and that was definitely the case for Cassie. Like she was just like, "Oh man, I gave birth to this thing. It's mine." And like for me, it was like, this is not real yet. Like this is crazy. It's a job opportunity in Utah to however you want to say it, exercise or whatever you want to work out
to pursue
basically.
your personal goals, right?
Yeah. Yes. And so I went to Utah, and that was the worst idea ever. Like looking back, man, it was like, don't do that unless it's a life-changing amount of money.
Go to Utah or
no, Utah was great. Utah was great.
Right.
Provo was a little weird, but
yeah,
mostly because the grocery store was closed on Sunday. And it was just
most things are closed on Sunday in Provo.
What's happening?
Yeah.
It was wild, a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So how long did you go to Provo to work before?
So I was there like 45 days or so, living in a hotel.
And this was just so you could train with other people? Is that what you were going there for?
So it was the Professional Grid League or whatever. So it was planned to be like a TV show thing.
Oh, okay.
Where it was filmed in advance, and then they made it look longer than it was.
Yeah, sure.
Just to cut costs.
Or you do everything a day, and they stretch it out for
or 45
six
days.
weeks,
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. You do all the matches, and then bam, it makes it look like it was 6 or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
So, I forget how well versed you are in this stuff. I had no idea that existed. So now I watch everything. I'm like,
Yeah. He's wearing the same clothes.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was over there, and then my wife and kid learned how to live without me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then
I do actually.
Yeah, and then I come back 45 days later, so my kid's like 2 months old.
Like, who are you?
And they already have a system in place. You know what I mean? My kid's sleeping in the crib already. And Cassie's just doing, and, she expects me to just jump in. And it's like, well, I don't want to, you're rolling. Like, right. I'm just going to get in the way.
Right. And you don't know what to do, right? Like, you come in there.
Yeah, I was like, I can't imagine military families. Oh, my gosh, dude. That was just 45 days. They're gone for like a year. Your family's learning how to live with, oh, man, I don't know. That was the most trying time. Like, just
coming back and settling and just dealing with that, like
just like marriage-wise. Yeah. That's the only time like there's been like friction.
Sure.
Of like serious friction.
Well, yeah, 'cause I would imagine, right? Because that was a serious commitment. And despite, even if she was 100% on board with it, like you say, you go do that, and she's like, "Okay, I'm good at this. I have to figure out how to do it all on my own." And and now you roll up. Yeah. And she's just like, "What do you think? What do you think you're doing?" Like
shit. Yeah. No maternity leave. Just like. Right. I had a couple coaches here that gave her like 2.5 weeks off, which is not enough.
Right.
And she's getting more this time. And And then it was, she just did everything while I was working in Utah.
Sure.
Which, to her was probably me running around having fun for 14 hours.
Lifting weights with dudes.
Lifting weights for two at a high altitude. Whoop-de-doo.
Right.
And, there was money involved that helped us, but coming back was definitely the most trying time. But then just the more time I spent with my daughter, the more I realized that, she's completely helpless. And, the only reason she's alive is because of you, and every smile is because of you.
Right.
And, just watching her grow and then, mimic things and, and eventually, I can't pinpoint a time or,
Sure.
But it was dang, dude, I love this thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. Mm-hmm. And, so at the beginning, it was man, it just felt surreal. It was weird. And I think it'll be much faster this time.
Sure.
Just because I know what's coming, because I've done it once. So I think it'll happen much more naturally.
You'll look to duplicate a relationship, right?